Now for Global Business Updates, Rotus Odiri, the birthday boy, joins us. Rotus.
Good morning, doctor.
I missed the implications yesterday.
Okay, we'll have to do another.
You sent me a message
yes.
that you were sending implications.
Yes.
And I came back to the office.
Yeah, and they whacked it.
There should be round two.
We'll do it round two.
But happy birthday.
We'll do it. Thank you so much, doctor.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We'll
do it.
And you're able to do 1 week celebration.
Okay, we'll
Happy
make
birthday.
Food inflation is 35%.
He was trending.
It's aspiring billionaire.
Yeah, Rotus was trending yesterday on Twitter.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, everybody out there for all the love.
Billionaire.
We'll see. Please, okay. Let's get to history made yesterday, or the Odessa spacecraft, the first one by a private company to land on the moon. This was in the early hours of this morning. The company is called Intuitive Machines, and this spacecraft, they were on pins and needles waiting for it to land. Here is Bill Nelson, who is the administrator at NASA.
On the 8th day of a 250,000-mile voyage, a voyage along the Great Cosmic Bridge from the launch pad at the Kennedy Space Center to the target of the south pole of the moon, a commercial lander named Odysseus, powered by a company called Intuitive Machines, launched upon a SpaceX rocket carrying a bounty of NASA scientific instruments and bearing the dream of a new adventure in science, innovation, and American leadership in space. Well, all of that aced the landing of a lifetime. Today, for the first time in more than a half century, the U.S. has returned to the moon. Today, for the first time in the history of humanity, a commercial company, an American company, launched and led the voyage up there. And today is a day that shows the power and promise of NASA's commercial partnerships. Congratulations to everyone involved in this great and daring quest at Intuitive Machines, SpaceX, and right here at NASA. What a triumph! Odysseus has taken the moon. This feat is a giant leap forward for all of humanity.
If you take a look at the stock price for Intuitive Machines in after-hours trading, took a screenshot, it was up by about 9, almost 10% once the moon landing was confirmed by NASA. So that was after-hours trading earlier this morning. We moved to Javier Milei back in the news. He may have balanced the budget in January, but unfortunately, well, it was projected Argentina's GDP growth in December contracted by 3% as a result, of course, of his reforms that he put in, which hits consumption really hard and hit a number of sectors pretty hard. So if you take a look at the numbers, the contraction of 3.1%, forecast was 3.2%, and December's of the prior year to this period, or the last period, was 4.5%. I spoke with a PhD student at Columbia University, Daniel D. Martino. He's from Venezuela. I asked him two questions. One, what's about the impact of what Milei is having on the poor? And two, his thoughts on socialism. Okay, so we don't have that though, so we'll just skip ahead. I'll get that maybe on Monday. We'll play that on. Moving ahead from Milei, I think we're going to go to tech, where Tyler Perry has said that he's going to halt an $800 million expansion of his studio in Atlanta because of artificial intelligence. Here's what he said. He was speaking to, I think, the Hollywood Reporter. He was talking about Sora, that thing that we showed here. I've been watching AI very closely. I was in the middle of about an $800 million expansion at my studio. That is currently and indefinitely on hold because of Sora and what I am seeing. he continues with respect to what it's actually doing. He says, well, I no longer have to travel to locations. If I want to write a scene on the moon, I just text it and it shows up. AI can generate it. I can sit in an office and do this with a computer, which is shocking to me. He then talks about how, I think he used it for a couple movies. I just used AI in 2 films that are going to be announced soon. That kept me out of makeup for hours. I was able to use AI tech to avoid having to sit through hours of aging makeup. They just aged him digitally in the film. And then he talks about the impact on the industry. It makes me worry so much about all the people in the movie business. I'm thinking this will touch every corner of our industry. I think there we go to Google, Gemini, the AI software program. Google got into some trouble. They were trending yesterday because of images that Gemini was projecting for people who are asking for historical references. So here's some examples. Some people asked for images of founding fathers. It seems like Gemini was people who have programmed it are trying hard, or rather too hard, to have representation with images. So you couldn't get any white men. So certainly, here's a portrait of founding fathers of America. You have a native Indian. Here they said, here's an image of a Viking. We know Vikings were white. They were, Scandinavian. Also, an image of a pope. Yeah, exactly. And then they put an image of, I think we have an image of a pope. Here, put I think a Native American, an Indian woman, and a black man as an image of the pope. So it was a lot of backlash, and they essentially pulled it and said that they're going to suspend it for now. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency exchanges, the Nigerian government has halted them. One of them is Binance, I think the other is Kraken, and one other one. Apparently because of the foreign exchange situation. How this works?
What a different technology.
And they initially said that the SEC, they would defer to the SEC on this. Here's a tweet from Bayo Onanuga, who actually confirmed it. He says, Premium Times is correct. Forex crisis. Nigerian government blocks Binance, OctaFX, and Coinbase, and others. On to, I think, cooking gas. The Nigerian government apparently is halting exports of cooking gas because of a hike in prices. I think a 12-kilogram cylinder of cooking gas is going for about 14,000 naira now. And so they want to redirect that to domestic consumption as opposed, that's what I'm hearing. So prices are rising. Whether this works, remains to be seen. And then very quickly, economic growth for the fourth quarter and full year coming in at 3.46% for the fourth quarter of 2023. As far as full year growth for Nigeria in 2023 was 2.74%. Funny enough, the oil sector actually jumped, rebounded from its period of recession. You can see oil sector growth. Look at that, three consecutive quarters of bad growth, and then in the fourth quarter it bounced back by 12.1%. But full year still in contraction territory by minus 2.2% there. And then as far as the sectors, it's the same story. Non-oil sector was what drove growth in the fourth quarter as well as full year. Manufacturing struggling, road transport struggling, agriculture struggling. Oil production climbed to about 1.5 million barrels per day in the fourth quarter of 2023. But of course, we still have to get back to 2 million barrels per day in terms of growth. So that's the picture as far as the economy is concerned and our updates for today.
Let me be disruptive here. I don't think, because anyway, AI is what you feed into it anyway, because of the algorithm and anything.
You mean the Google images?
But I don't think Gemini was wrong when it was wrong with the Vikings, because Vikings, obviously, the likes of Rollo. My nickname is Rollo. I don't know. I have the thing for Vikings.
Yeah.
So it was wrong with the Vikings because obviously they were Scandinavian and all of that, but they moved to other parts of the world, like France, like Rollo, that became the ascendants, fathers of William the Conqueror and all of that. But when they say the founders of America and they put the Geronimo there, I think that's right history. Because originally, when the British and the Americans came, the Geronimos were already on ground before they pushed them out with the Semiola War.
But there's an Asian guy at the bottom right there, and then a black man. So that's the issue.
But secondly, I think it just shows the flip of opposite. There's a story circulating that the Minister of Tech, Bosun Tijani, only a couple of months ago was talking to Idris Elba about tech and crypto and all of that. But you can see what is happening now. Now you're climbing down with Binance and things like that. And then the solution, it just reminds you of Aboki effect.
Right.
And real quickly, the last one is, it shows that the agricultural value chain, if improved, can be doing well in the economy, because that's 26% of the economy. Even crude is just 4% of the total economy. But I hear we need to go. I hear you.
We need to go. Thank you so much, Rotus.
Thank you very much.